Hello everyone, it's Zach, nice to see you all. Now, these are the top 10, in my opinion, books. There's actually 11, but 2 of them go together. Top 10 books that are good for theatre creatives. They're not just good for actors, but good for like educators of theatre, good for producers and directors and just creative people in general, usually with like the flair of the theatrics involved rather than film or TV or radios or whatever. Theatre. That's my background. For a bit more context in who I am, I guess, that'd be fun. I am a theatre creative, that's kind of what I say. I do access coordination, I do a little bit of acting now and then, I do producing, I used to do producing, I do a little bit of directing, what else do I do? Chaperoning and teaching youth theatres. And I'm sure there's stuff that I've done that I'm not even saying right now, like stage management. I'm sure I've done like bits of that. And professionally as well, so I've toured a little bit and worked with some companies near Chester and Liverpool. And yeah, I'm really proud and happy of my achievements. But I thought I could share with you some information that I know. And the first way I want to do that is by giving you some book recommendations, as I think that might be fun. And I hope you get around to reading them because they are pretty cool. The first book in my list is The Actor's Workbook by Clifton. So we've got a theatre near us, a regional theatre called Story House, which I work at. And I've known, and I was involved when I was a child as well, like 14, teenager. And Clifton was the first artistic director of this theatre. So he holds like a special place in the Chester like sphere of theatre, I guess. And he's really, really cool, and I really looked up to him when I was a teenager. So I got his book when I was younger, and I read it and read it and read it and read it, and I loved it. And I think the reason why I loved it so much is because it's got so much practical information. Like, if I skip to one of the pages that I've highlighted, this is just because I've used it recently, like, it's got loads of, I don't know if you can see that. Centre and align. Provide focus before an exercise or release tension after an exercise. It's just got stuff like that in, and it's like, gives you really practical steps to completion. And it goes through, in like, it's a big book. It goes in detail of really specific things. And I just really love it. It's really good. And it's kind of easy to read because you don't have to read it as like a book. You can flip through to what you need most at that moment and see it. And they also have some videos like dotted throughout the pages as well. And it's just such a helpful tool. Second recommendation, it's Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. And it's New York Times bestseller from the author of Steal Like an Artist, which I don't think I've read, but I think I've read another book of, or listened to an audiobook of another book of Austin Kleon's, which was also really, really good, but it was a very long time ago. And this is brilliant because whenever I read this book, I start showing my work more. It makes me feel not as worried or concerned or stressed or fearful, like any emotion that comes with sharing work, because it is hard. Kind of just goes away, it dissipates because of how well this book is written and how it lets you understand that it doesn't have to be perfect, and there's loads of tips and ideas to share as well. Like, maybe you don't have to share the finished product, maybe you don't have a finished product, but wouldn't it be cool to share like a research page that you've done, or just like a small snippet of a monologue or a dance or something. And it's really, really good. I really like it. The third book is The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rubin. 2023, I believe. I think it was nearly close to winning the Waterstones Book of the Year, but I don't think it did, but I can't remember really. This book is kind of similar to the likes of the other two, so it gives you kind of practical, not as practical as the other two, but steps to getting your ideas out there, and it goes from like beginning to the end. Like, there's so many short topics in this book, and there's just like so much information that it makes you feel like you've kind of reached the Holy Grail and you're reading this book and learning so much, not just about theatre or not just about anything, just about being creative and how that's really, really important even if it's not for money or for work or for anything like that. I hope you're enjoying this. I don't know what I'm doing really. Now, these two books are going together because they're just kind of the same vibe. And they're written by two separate people as well, but I'm sure it's part of the same series because look at that, they match. But that is the complete Stanislavsky Toolkit and the complete Brecht Toolkit. Again, I'm just really a fan of books that are practical, like practical actual explanations and like ways of doing it, so you can just get right to it and explore it within your physicality and within your voice rather than just up here. I say they're important practitioners, they really, really are, but like the reason why we get taught about them so much is because they have made theatre what it is. They are like the theatre granddads or dads of the like world, you know? So it is important. If you think it's like, oh, I only want to do modern stuff, well, like especially with Brecht, like you're gonna learn so much. Even if it's like, oh, he's old, I don't want to do that, you're just gonna learn so much. And I think it's a really important like rite of passage almost to learn who's come before you, no matter what you do. So get reading. Fifth recommendation, and my sixth book, is something that I just think we should all have on our shelves. It's just a really, really good book to flip through, the Shakespeare book. And it just has loads and loads of ideas. I'm a massive fan of Shakespeare, and my list of Shakespeare books, like, I'm sure I've got like 20. Like, I love him, and I've got all the plays, so that's not even including the plays. But every single time I want to learn about a book, I flip through this one. Like, if it's Two Gentlemen of Verona, which one is this? As You Like It. And I flip it through, and it's got so much information. It's got stuff about the characters and the plot line, but also has like theoretical stuff as well, like what the context is. Why did Shakespeare write it? Because he was known for like stealing work and adapting it for his own uses, so it's got a little bit about that, like the sources and the legacy, like what's the important productions that have changed the way that like the world has seen that specific show. And then it just goes into like actual theoretical information, like about romance, if it's a romantic plot, about ambiguous Rosalind, talking about how they're like almost non-binary in a sense. They're very interesting and they're very like gender fluid, and just loads of cool stuff like that. Even like really simple things like the 7 Ages of Man, because that's a really important monologue in like the world of Shakespeare. But just breaks it down a little bit, and it's so simple, and I just love it because I've used it so often. Like every single time I pick up a Shakespeare book, this book is with me because it just helps me a little bit. Like Shakespeare can be hard. It's beautiful when you understand certain lines and certain words, or just like get the gist of the story and the characters, and you feel close to those characters as well. But you have to dig a little bit. And it's important to dig. It's important to work hard at something that you really enjoy doing. But sometimes you just need a little bit of help doing that. So the Shakespeare book is very helpful. The sixth book. Now we're going away from like overallness. Like we're going away from like things that I feel like everyone could read or actors in general should read. We're going into directing now. And there's a few books here. They're not all about directing. There's 2 directing and then some others. But the 6th book is Directing in Musical Theatre, and it's a Routledge book, so it was expensive to buy this. I don't know if you could find it today, but it's by Joe Deere, and oh my lord, this is, I think, for my personal list, this one's at the top. And again, it's practical. It has so much information in it, and it's just, what did I call the other book? A holy grail. There's just so much information. And I've also, whenever I've directed something or even been involved in directing, like maybe as an assistant, I've taken this book and I've looked through the pages and gone, that's useful. That's useful. Oh, look, that's useful as well. And I've used it every single time. And it's got loads and loads of notes. And this is a book that I've read cover to cover quite a few times. and I really, really love it. What I love most about this book is that I'm pretty sure it is used for like a course, like a uni course, because of the depth of the information, and they go into like phases. So they start from conception of the show that's being directed, and then they go all the way to the end of, you know, celebrating and having the show on the stage. And there's just so much information. It's split into units. So if you wanted to, you could literally use this book as like, you know, like a personal curriculum. You know, they're all the hype at the moment, and so should they be. You know, they're brilliant. And also, as well as some other books on the list, loads of information online as well. Like they've got like a companion website, and you can find information from this book online. That just increases the depth of your knowledge. The 7th book on my list, again, they're all just practical. I've got a type, and honestly, like, it's theatre, it should be practical, that's kind of the whole point. But the 7th book on my list, The Director's Craft, A Handbook for the Theatre, by Katie Mitchell. Katie Mitchell is a director who's directed at National Theatre, and like loads and loads of other places, really, really famous, and also like, I know it's like, she's a woman, but like, she's important, like, it's important that she's a woman because not many directors are. But yeah, really practical, just again, really, really good. Takes you through, I can't remember what they use, it's like a Stanislavsky text. I'm pretty sure it's a Cherry Orchard, but I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Oh, the Seagull. Yeah. So it takes you through one script. So it uses the seagull throughout the entire text, and it's really, really helpful because then you can see it from conception to the end product in a really, really concise and clear way. And alongside all the practical exercises, Katie Mitchell has done those exercises in this book, so you can really see like what you're supposed to do. It makes you feel like you're doing it right because you've got a practical example in front of you. Yeah, it's a bit dense, but really, really cool. And there's loads of helpful summaries along the way, so you'd finish a chapter and then it'll summarise it in really, really quick notes, which is just really helpful. The 7th book, this is also very, very like close to the top of my personal list of favourite books, even favourite books like in general, not just theatrical books, is Creating Worlds, How to Make Immersive Theatre, Jason Warren. And again, guess what, everyone? Guess what? It's really, really practical, and that is so, so helpful. So, immersive theatre. So, talking about theatre that is not put on a stage, that the audience may walk through or walk amongst, or the actors may walk through or amongst the audience. Building a world, creating worlds. So not just thinking about what happens at the time they get to the theatre, or like the time they're watching the show, but what happens before that, what invites them into the room, into the space, and what like takes them away afterwards. Do they have any resources or packs or information that they now have that changes the way they look at things, or maybe like an extra activity alongside that. And it's so lovely to read. There's loads of practical examples with other immersive theatre shows. It goes through some of the like more well-known things like Punch Drunk and others. And I love it. It's such a great book. And again, it felt really easy to read. This is also one that I've read a lot of times. Recommend it. Okay, so the 9th book in the list is The Active Text by Dymphna Callery. I might be pronouncing that name wrong, but I put all the books in the description as well, just to help you guys out. It's about physical theatre, but it's about physical theatre using the text, so not just devised work, but it says unlocking plays through physical theatre. Guess what? It's another practical recommendation. Loads of exercises in this book, and this is probably my most recent read of theatrical books. And it's so cool, and I learnt so much. And I like improv dance and moving my body and understanding my physical energy as well as my mental energy. So reading this connected the two, and it felt really awesome to read and to learn more about. Yeah, and it's just, like, again, heaped with practical information. So if you are interested in physical theatre specifically, I think this is the book for you, because it will just help you a lot and it will make things make sense. And she's got loads and loads of other books as well. And again, another woman to add to our list. The 10th book is a book by Nick Asbury called Exit Pursued by a Badger. And this isn't a practical book. I think it's the only non-practical book in my series of books. This is like a memoir. It's a journey of Nick Asbury, who's an actor. This book is a book of the blogs that were written for the RSC by Nick Asbury, of the history plays. So they did all the history plays in one from like 2006 to 2008. And I think they went on tour with it. But I know that they did it like in the RSC, and that's the main part of the book. And it's so cool. Just like living an actor's life for a long period of time, and you read it even if you haven't like performed professionally before or haven't been on a long contract before. It's like you get the thrill of doing so because of how well this book is written and because of how well he takes you on that journey. And it's really, really fun, and it's just a nice read, honestly, like a celebratory and of Shakespeare and of acting, and I just really like it. Those are my 11 recommendations. Have a really good day, and I'll see you next week, because I feel like I've got the bug for this now. So yeah, see you again. Bye.